You know, when it comes to trauma, we are all walking around with at least one emotionally broken kneecap. And no, I'm not talking about the kind of trauma where your Wi-Fi goes out right before your Uber Eats order. Okay. I mean, the real gut-wrenching, life-altering type of trauma that's been playing you like a cheap violin since childhood. That kind sits in the back of your mind like an unpaid parking ticket, waiting to screw you over when you least expect it. The kind that has you repeating the same toxic relationship patterns like you're stuck in an infinite loop of bad decisions. And let me hit you with some truth about trauma. It doesn't just go away because you ignore it. That's like expecting your dirty laundry to fold itself because you keep walking past it. That shit is still there, and it's marinating in its own filth, getting worse by the day. And the longer you pretend your past didn't happen, the harder it smacks you in the fucking face when it decides to show up uninvited. Because trauma is like that one ex who won't take a hint. It keeps creeping back into your life, disguised as anger, self-sabotage, or that little voice in your head whispering, "You're not good enough." And healing trauma isn't some magical fairy tale process where you light a candle, you journal your feelings, and suddenly become an enlightened Zen master. It's a full-on street fight with the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. It's ugly crying in your car because a song on the radio hits too close to home. It's realizing you've been making excuses for people who treated you like garbage. It's facing the cold, hard truth that a lot of your behaviors, your anger, your fear of commitment, your tendency to ghost people who actually care about you are all just trauma wearing a different outfit. And let's talk about that anger. Oh, that fucking anger. A lot of men walk around with enough repressed rage to power a small country. But instead of dealing with it, they channel it into dumb shit like picking fights over parking spots or yelling at inanimate objects when they stub their toe. And here's the thing, that anger isn't actually about the parking spot. It's about all the unresolved pain that's been festering inside of you for years. It's about that time your father made you feel like you weren't enough. It's about that time your ex manipulated you into thinking you were the problem. It's about every moment in your life where you felt powerless, but never allowed yourself to process it. And now that anger is leaking out in ways that make you look like an unhinged lunatic over the dumbest shit. So what do? You face it. You sit with it. You acknowledge that your anger isn't a flaw, it's a symptom. And if you don't deal with the root cause, you'll spend your whole life blowing up over nonsense while the real wounds keep festering. Healing means getting brutally honest with yourself. It means admitting your coping mechanisms, whether it's drinking, gambling, chasing validation, or pretending you're just not emotional. And all these are nothing more than escape routes that keep you from doing the real work. So let's be clear. Healing's not for weak people. And it's not some trendy, Instagram-friendly process where you sit in a bubble bath with a face mask and call it self-care. It's dragging yourself through the emotional mud, confronting the demons that you've been dodging, and choosing every single day to do better. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about breaking the cycle. It's about realizing that just because you were hurt doesn't mean you have to keep hurting yourself. And no, it's not fair that you have to clean up the mess left by people who should have done better. But the alternative, staying stuck in the same shit forever, and if that's your plan, just admit it now so we can stop pretending that you're going to work on yourself next year. So what's your move? It starts with accountability. Stop blaming your childhood, your ex, or the universe for your current reality. Acknowledge the pain, but don't use it as a crutch. Therapy, yes. Shadow work, abso-fucking-lutely. Sitting in silence and letting yourself feel instead of numbing out, 100%. Surrounding yourself with people who call you out on your bullshit instead of enabling it. Non-negotiable. Healing is about ownership, and if you want to break free from the past, you have to stop running from it. If all of this hits a little too hard and you feel personally attacked, good. That means you needed to hear it. If you're ready to actually do the work and stop being a prisoner to your past, I got you. Click the link in the description to book a free call, and let's get you out of this cycle before you waste another year pretending you're fine. Trust me, fine is another word for stuck. Let's get you unstuck.